there, everyone. Today's our first stream for 2024, and we are in the Bonanza from Black Square for a fun-filled VOR navigation flight. Also, big news, and you may have already noticed, I recently upgraded my microphone, so let me know how it sounds for you guys, and if you like it more than what we previously had, I think you should enjoy it, and it's a lot more clear from what I can tell. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, I did release the Nocturnal Simulations flight data sheet recently, which is linked below. So if you're interested in it or wondering what the heck I'm even talking about, go check it out. It's absolutely perfect for those VATSIM flights and will help you nail your clearance delivery readback, along with remembering any of your weather or frequencies for departure, your taxi instructions, all that in a nice little compact page. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. And on to our flight here. We are at Brown Municipal in San Diego, and we'll be heading to Yuma. We'll be doing some VR navigation with a little extra challenge tonight. So let me go ahead and drag over Navigraph to show you what we're doing. So first things first, we're going to turn off our icon. We are doing this all by VOR navigation. And what we will do though is I will load up the Lanta, which you may have just seen pop there, and we'll minimize that on the other screen and see how well we do at the end of the stream here. So go ahead and minimize that, so can't see that. But we are leaving Brown Municipal, and we're going to try to avoid, this airspace over here for San Diego. So there's a nice little wedge here that we can, or this, it's called a hallway, that we can kind of dive through right here. And we will depart on a heading of 071 to this GPS waypoint right here. And the way we're going to figure this out without a GPS is we're going to dial in this JLI Juliet Lima India VOR right here on 114.0 and dial in a radial of 348. So for those of you not familiar with VORs, or if you are familiar, we're going to be essentially driving through the VOR to 348. So once we get here, we should see that line up perfectly. That'll let us know that it's time to turn left and head north. Once we get to JLI, we're going to take a right turn, depart on, I believe it was 115 to Kumba. And here we go once again. We're flying somewhere that has an RNAV waypoint. So we don't actually have RNAV with a non-GPS aircraft, which is area navigation, which is usually, well, technically we do have RNAV on this aircraft, but I don't think it'll work for this situation, and I still haven't practiced it, to be perfectly honest. But we're going to be heading over to IPL, and so what we can do is have the JLI and the IPL tuned in, and once we get on the radial for IPL of 074, we'll know that we are right here. So if we depart on one of the OBSs with the JLI, which is probably what we use for navigation, and then have the OBS2 pull it up for IPL. Once those kind of intersect and cross up, we'll know that we're approximately at this Kumba RNAV point. Once we're at IPL, we're going to take a little northerly trip here up to Imperial County, do a little touch and go, head back down to IPL, head back out to the east to BARD. Once again, it's I think it's like a 07, let me look at my notes here, 074 again, I believe, and get the BARD. Then we should have a visual on Yuma. If not, we'll head to the south and enter the pattern depending on the appropriate winds. So with that covered, let's drag this back over to the other screen. And once again, guys, I got this new microphone, so if you're having any issues hearing me or anything, just let me know in the chat, or if you really like the way it sounds, let me know also. If you guys could also do me a real quick favor, hit that like button, leave a comment below as we get started. It would be absolutely huge. And if you want to support the channel or have any questions about my current setup, please check out the links below, which I do need to update with the new audio setup. And super chats are open. Right now, I have myself bloggins. It looks like Ron has joined us. Mike is on his way. Dev is also in the channel with us flying tonight. And let's get back into this airplane, get it started up. We are at a higher elevation, so it's I had a little bit of a challenge getting it started earlier, but I think we're good to go now. What's going on, Diesel? How are you tonight? Let's go ahead and hop back in the cockpit, get this thing restarted, and we are currently on live weather and time. I hit the right button. Wonderful.
78 core computer. That thing, when I bought it for both gaming and VM, so I could run multiple VMs. And that thing lasts, like, you know, I looked at it as an investment, and it lasted me a good number of years. And that's what I want. I want something that's not going to die, like, you know, I'm going to have to replace within like 5-6 years. I want something that, you know, it's still good in 10 years time. I might have to upgrade the graphics card. I understand that, but for now, I hope the machine lasts me a good long time.
All right, I'm back, guys. Let's go ahead and get these things started
welcome
up.
back.
Is everybody clear on the flight plan? It is a little more confusing than usual. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page.
I'm looking at your last one, the 4:23 p.m. posting that has the frequencies at the bottom of it. That's the one I'm following.
Yes. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, the flight plan makes pretty much sense.
Okay. I just want to make sure it does for everybody, since unless you're using GPS, we're not going to have RNAV waypoints or the arbitrary northerly, westerly.
Oh, I am using GPS.
Okay. Diesel says he's been using the flight data sheet for his first few flights and he loves it. Great, Diesel. I'm glad you're enjoying that.
Yeah,
Still do have the idea.
Right. If I can use, if you can use the nav radios, it's so much more fun.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's go ahead and get this thing started up, and that's okay. Well, maybe if you listen and watch us back, it may be a good lesson for you there, Dev. So let's get the battery on. Full throttle. I'm going to leave the mixture where it's at. Get high pump for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Off. Crack the throttle. 1/4 of an inch. And let's pray it starts this time for us. Of course, it's going to be difficult. Let's get a little extra throttle.
Most planes are difficult.
Yeah, this one's being extra finicky today. Rich and just here.
I also had to flip the tank for some reason from left to right.
I'm going to try that real quick, but I don't know why that would make a difference right now.
It shouldn't, but...
For some reason, that worked. I don't know why. I was getting fuel flow when we turned the booster pump on, but okay. So, that may have been my issue earlier. So let's get it up to 1,000 RPM on the ground here. Let her start warming up. And let's lean for the ground. So watch for that RPM drop. Right there. And bump it up just a hair. Beautiful. All right. Alternator on.
Fingers at the start.
If not, Control E is always an option so that we're not sitting around waiting forever on everybody. All right, alternator on. Master avionics. What is the cabin temperature? 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That is perfect. And then...
What's going on?
What's up, Cameron? How are you? Headlights should turn the beacon light on. And let's get pitot heat on.
Alright, I am successfully started.
Awesome. We'll get the cabin heat going here in a few minutes, but first things we're going to do here is, so we're departing at Kilo Sierra Delta Mike on a heading of 071. So let's go ahead and dial in 071. Come on. There's 6. We might have a challenge to C7. There's a little nav tag right there, so let's just guesstimate it right there. And let's get our course set for that too. We'll clear that up once we start rolling around here. Go ahead, drop our flaps down to approach while we're thinking about it. We are currently at an altimeter of 3011. So 3011 and 11. There we go. Showing 3,500 feet. Compare that to our chart on Navigraph. And it says we are at an elevation of, oh wait, 500 feet. Did I read that wrong? Oh yes, 500 feet, sorry. So that must have been the only reason why, because for some reason it had stuck in my head that we were at 3,500 feet earlier, and we were at 500 feet. So going to the right tank for some reason fixed our issue. I don't know what the deal there is. May just be a bug that's come along with some update 14 or something. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and climb up to, let's go to 3,500 feet. We're going to arm the altitude, and we're going to expect a, let's call it a 1,200 feet per, actually, what is the climb rate on this thing? Let's do 1,000. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've flown this thing. Diesel says, I got the Logitech radio panel for Christmas. I've been using it for a lot of VOR flights. Oh, yeah, that and VATSIM. Now, the only downside to using it on VATSIM in the future is you'll probably have to use SPADNIX to shift the numbers over. So there's always a 1 at the very first number, but since they're going to that 8.33 kilohertz for probably everywhere, you're going to need to be able to have those 3 decimal points after. So then, you know, you would just see like 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 5 or something like that at the end of it. So just keep that in mind, Diesel. Autopilot, we're going to be going to heading mode on to take off here. So arm, altitude, flight director, heading mode. Got plenty of gas, 3/4 tank in the wings and half tanks in the tip tanks. Good to go there. All right, so let's go ahead and prepare for our first VOR, which is going to be the Juliet Lima India. It's going to be 1140, so we're going to put that in our nav radio. 1140. Go ahead, this is our nav 1. And then our nav 2, which will be our OBS in here, so it's going to be, nav 1 is going to be on the HSI, nav 2 is going to be on the OBS. We'll go ahead and dial in Imperial, which is 1159er. Swap that over. And we may or may not see that once we get in the air. We'll see. It looks like I'm kind of picking up that radio on the ground here, but we're not going to be using that radio for now. What we can do, though, is go ahead and, I mentioned earlier, we're going to be turning up to JLI at a 348 degree radio. So let's go ahead and forget about using this for the heading mode, which really isn't that useful, and go to 348. So there is 34, 345, 6, 7, 8, 348. And once this lines up, we should be able to head straight north. Well, not straight north, but on a heading of 348 to intercept the JLI VOR. And that'll keep us out of the airspace and out of Mexico. Something to pay attention to, though, is there are some mountains along the way. So our initial altitude is going to be 3,500, but we're going to need to climb up to probably 6,500 or even maybe even higher. I'm seeing 5,000 feet or so in some of these mountains, so just something to keep in mind once we get rolling here. So navigation set up. Let's go ahead and get our strobe lights, taxi lights, landing lights. Don't need flood or panel.
What runway we taking off?
The winds are 260 at 5, so we're going to want to take off of 26 right. And we are currently facing east over here at the terminal, so I believe we can pretty much taxi straight out from where I'm sitting. Go down the 26 right. Alright, so track IR engaged. Go ahead and reset that. Shift my butt around on my seat here. Reset the view. Approach flaps are good. Park brake off. Brakes work. Everybody ready? Oh, look at those beautiful bonanzas. We got quite the crew here. Check this out. Oh, somebody's at the Comanche too. And the TBM. Oh, dang.
I'm the one in the Comanche.
Who's in the TBM over there? Ah, you guys are too close for the nameplates. So,
I have the TBM, but I'm sitting on the runway at the moment.
oh, there's some. Oh, okay. So we'll continue on taxiing down this way. Go to the 26 right.
What is up?
What's up, Sean? Am I loud enough in this Discord for you guys?
Yep, you're perfect.
That's fine.
Awesome. I was setting up a filter and everything earlier, so I just wanted to make sure it all sounded good. Somebody is down at the end of the runway crashing. Who's that?
Already?
I see Ron down there, and then JCPMI. I'm not sure who that is. Watch out, school bus.
Visual flight.
Yeah, visual with the VOR nav. This thing gets up and scoots. All right, let's go ahead and bring that mixture back in. Props in. We'll run up at the end of the runway here. Interestingly, that says 26 left. Oh, there is a 26 left. Look at that. Tiny little thing. I didn't see that on the chart when I looked earlier. We're going 26 right. All the way at the end down here. Quite a few people following along with us here. Dev, oh, there's Mike. Looks, oh, he just joined Discord too, so got him just in time.
I thought we were
Alright.
starting at 7.
Nope, 6 o'clock on Thursdays, 7 o'clock on Sundays.
I realize that now.
At least you caught it in time and were able to hop in.
Yep. I may need some navigation help though. Doesn't make any sense to me yet.
That's okay. For this first leg, just follow along. It might be the easiest thing to do. I'll kind of explain things as we go, and if that doesn't make sense, it's okay too.
What are
Yeah.
you cruising at? I only really go to 160.
What's that?
What are you gonna cruise at? I'm only really able to get to 160 knots.
I don't recall what this thing can do off the top of my head, but 160 would be plenty.
That's about right, probably. For the
Yeah.
Bonanza.
All right, let's go ahead and mash those brake pedals. Let's bring this thing up to 1800 RPM.
I'm so behind
Actually,
the
let's
eight ball on two
go.
frequencies.
There we go.
Sorry.
All right, left mag. Watch that RPM drop. About 125 or so. Back to both. Right mag. Got about the same drop. Back to both. And we do not have carb heat in this aircraft, I don't believe. Nope. Everything's in the green. Everything looks happy. So the head temperatures are good. All right. I'm good to go here. Wasn't having any issues there, so that's beautiful. So we're going to be doing a, let's do a right turn to avoid going to Mexico when we leave here. Clear left, clear right. Is everybody ready?
Yep, I'm on the runway.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Yep.
let's roll. Bring that throttle in. This
Got
is a
both
turbo.
my engines ready.
This is turbocharged,
Mike,
so you
let's
want to bring
go
the
in,
power in gently. Mike's over here in the. Woo.
I was actually
Baron.
gonna fly that plane. I was thinking about flight miles, like maybe it's gonna be too fast.
I forgot to do my trim there, so we were a little out of whack, but not too big of a deal. How's the brake gear? And like I said, we will do a right turn to avoid going to Mexico over there. Might cause us a bad day. Waiting for the end of the runway here. Looks like we're about there. We are 500 feet in the air. Let's go flaps up. Following the runway, heading up for a little longer here. And let's do our right turn. Once again, we're departing on 071 heading mode. Trying to keep it around 1,000 feet per minute. Got a little out of whack there for a moment. Let's go ahead and pull some power back. Pull it back to 28 and 25 on the prop. 28 PSI, 25 on the prop. A little bumpy today. Not too bad though.
More than a little.
Alright, so I'm seeing mountains ahead of me already that don't appear to be too friendly. So let's go ahead and go on up to 6,500. Keeping that heading, and let's go ahead and go to autopilot. So we can start focusing on this navigation. Alright, unfortunately we got a nice glare right there, but I do believe that says 1109er. I'm sorry. Read the wrong one. 1140, which is what we need to have for the JLI VOR. We do have signal on that, which is fantastic. So once we see this horizontal, or this should be a vertical bar when it straightens out, scooch in to be in line with the arrow here. We will know that we are just south of that VOR, and we'll be able to turn left. What we were trying to do is void the airspace off to our left there, so I'll show you what we did real quick on Navgraph. Took off 26 right, did a right turn, and there's those mountains that were a little above 3,500 that I was mentioning, so we're climbing out over those, heading on a departing on a heading of 071 to this RNAV point here. So if you look to the radio, we want to go to the radio heading of 348, so 348 through the radial here, and Dev, this will help you out if you go back and watch this again. So if you were able to, oh, actually you can zoom in and get a better look at it. Here we go, perfect. So we are 301, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, and approximately 8 right there. So that matches this line right here. So you're heading through the radial to 348. About to say something, Bloggins?
Yeah, my... Oh, no, I didn't. For a second I thought my flight sim just crashed, but it didn't.
Oh. Alright, cockpit temperature is 51 degrees. Let's go ahead and pull a little bit of cabin heat there. And with our altitude we're currently at, let's go ahead and lean it out just a bit. Just to maintain some good performance here. Alright, coming up on 5,500 for 6,500, so we should hear the buzzer momentarily. Here are those towers we saw on the chart a minute ago. So, glancing at the chart again, the towers that we just passed right there, you can see them right here on the chart. There we go. That's that mountain we just saw, 3,500 feet. The next things we'll probably see is this transmission line coming through here. And then what looks like a racetrack maybe? And then a peak 3808 straight ahead of us right now. Let's see if that makes any sense. Looking for a peak. Don't really see anything. There will be a lake off to our left eventually that we'll see, and actually it's a skinny lake, and then there'll be a fatter lake. And we want to go to the north between the skinny lake and the fat lake. Coming up on 6,500 feet. And the sun is miserable. Oh, it looks like we've got our OBS on nav2 here. So as a reminder, that was dialed into IPL 1159, from the best I can tell with the glare.
I didn't ask what time are you flying at right now?
Live time and live weather.
Live time.
Yep. Good and bumpy today. Oh, there's the skinny lake I was mentioning before. Perfect. That's Barrett Lake. Off to the right of that, somewhere behind this bar right here is part of the cabin. We should see Morena Reservoir. Okay. And we're going to essentially be going between this Barrett Lake and the Marina Reservoir there. So I expect us to start seeing this bar coming in. Oh, there it is. It's actually moving perfectly. Beautiful. All right, we are at cruise, so let's go ahead and go to 25 on the manifold pressure and 20 on the RPM here, and let's see what that sets our cruise speed at. All right, there's the Skinny Lake, Barrett Lake. Coming in our HSI here. Let's say something, Mike.
Is your Bonanza turbocharged?
Yes, this one is the turbocharged version.
I was wondering why I'm
There.
not like overtaking you. 'Cause I jumped in the non-turbo.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm
But
falling behind
they're
soon, yeah.
probably somewhat comparably matched.
At this altitude, it should be pretty close. All right,
Like
so
you
like
said, put a 25 on the manifold. I was like, I can't do that. Why?
a.
Oh,
Well, what can you guys do on the manifold?
I'm about 23 right now.
23? What about? I imagine
Right.
you're pretty
I'm-
similar, Bloggins. I got 2320.
I'm
Let's
hanging
go ahead.
with you just fine.
Go a low fuel pump, and go to the left tank. And fuel pump can go off, and let's go into nav mode. Should do a left turn. Pick up that VOR. Get Skinny Lake on the left, Fat Lake on the right. Perfect. Love it when a plan works out. I got a cruise speed of about 140 right now. I'm about to do my lean, so I might lose a few knots here.
I'm going 160, but I'm way far behind you.
A couple of you guys are right behind me, actually.
Yeah, I'm maxed out at 160 or so.
I'm having fuel imbalance, but I already did all that stuff.
Mike, is your landing gear down?
Well, sure.
It shows it down right now. Oh, it just went back up. Interesting.
Gotta figure out the outside air temperature here and compensate this. Oh, there we go. Alright, about 0 degrees C outside.
And we must be fighting quite the crosswind here because this thing is got me crabbing hard to the left.
Can you refresh again for probably the 10th time? With the pressure, altitude, and temperature compensation on the airspeed. Pressure, altitude, is that just the altitude we're cruising at?
Yes, that is your cruise altitude, and then you want to set that altitude to the outside temperature.
Alright, so I'm cruising about 195 knots indicated.
Luckily for us, we don't need our weather radar here, so we'll leave that in standby. Okay, so what we're seeing here, we got a nice little cruise for a moment, so let's take a look at this. We should have been 31 miles to the VOR. We were at 21 or 28.1 now, so by the time we actually looked at that, that was pretty close. So I imagine we were pretty darn on top of that. Let's just call it Top Gun right there, waypoint. So we're heading to JLI, and then remember, we're going to be departing JLI on a heading of, is it 115? Yeah, 115. So we can do one of two things here. We can just be ready to go into heading mode and shift our HSI over to 115, and that'll be perfectly fine, which is probably what I'm going to actually do. Or we could have actually used our second OBS here to tune it to 114 also, and then had the dial set to 115 on the radio so that we would depart on 115. Probably do the first thing I mentioned, so let's go ahead and get the heading bug back over here. It looks like that crabbing has cleared up. So keep that right on our course knob there. Got 25.4 miles. I got a ground speed of 143 knots. Straight to the VOR right now.
Better slow down.
Mike, just so you know, yeah, you're getting way ahead now. There was the skinny lake I was mentioning a minute ago. That was the Barrett Lake, I believe. Yeah, Barrett Lake. And then over here is the fatter lake on the chart. It doesn't look too much fatter, but that was the Marina, however you say it. So, checking our nav radios here. India Papa Lima is going to be 1159er since we can see the screen a little better now. Got that dialed in for OBS 2. The intercept that we're going to want to have for this next waypoint, so we can go ahead and start getting ahead of our navigation here to keep us safe, keep us from getting lost, and keep us out of Mexico. They might sink us down into the Laguna Salada. The Laguna Salad. So we're going to intercept at Kumba, which is an RNAV waypoint, without using the RNAV radio. So IPL is going to be a radio of 074. No. Let me pull up my sky vector here because that navigation changes just a hair. 258 yeah, it is 074. Okay, so 074, and you can actually see that on the chart right here. It's not quite. It looks like there's a slight bend in it right there. So. Opposite of 258. This was 078. So that's that slight bend you're seeing there. So we can intercept IPL on 078. So let's tune this guy to 078. There is 0. 8, and it's going to look like it's in front of us because we are kind of heading that direction, so it's good that we can see it and it's making sense. Mike, how's that mountain look for your elevation there?
It looks a little spooky, but according to the charts, we should be fine at 6,500.
Okay.
But that does not look right. I think I'm going to do a little, especially since you guys got some. I'm gonna go heading mode and hook a left around this peak.
Yeah, I won't blame you. Looks a little sketchy.
Higher.
Ooh, look at that view. That's nice. Get a screenshot of that.
Ooh, what the heck?
I'm gonna go ahead.
Well, see, so the mountain actually is at VLI, isn't it?
No. VLI, if I'm looking, I think this mountain, let's take a look at the nav graph here, so we can't find this real quick, and we'll keep it down here so we can make sure we don't smack into it while we're staring at the chart. So I'm looking, and it might be 4885, the Gotay. That might be it. There should be a road and some power lines right in front of it. What's that look like? I don't see a road that matches what I'm seeing on the chart there. Oh, there's a stream right there. If you see a stream anywhere, you know, that probably doesn't make sense because of the distance.
You have to fly right into the mountain, it looks like.
It sure looks like it, doesn't it? I don't see a stream on here anywhere. Oh, here we go. Sweetwater River. Because this is 14 miles away from JLI still, so... let's go ahead and let's bump this up to 7,500 feet real quick. Start climbing. Bring in some power. And climb about 800 feet per minute just to get over this, just to give us a little extra room here. That mountain peak might be Carroll or there's a lake nearby. Cuyamaca Lake. I'm not sure. There's that lake. So yeah, this might be that's Cuyamaca Lake, and this mountain peak for some reason is not listed on the chart.
I got a
Oh, never mind.
Cuyamaca Peak.
It's 6512 Cuyamaca Peak. Yeah, I was looking just too south of it. So yeah, that makes sense. So we just passed over Cuyamaca Lake right here. Or I'm sorry, Cuyamaca Peak, and the lake that we were just looking at is Cuyamaca Lake, which means we are perfectly on course for Julian here.
What was your course for Julian that you had? Because I twiddled the wrong knob and lost my course setting.
2 Julian was 348.
Thank you.
All right, we are coming up on 7,500, so let's pull that power back. Back to 25, back to 25. And let's pull the power back some more. We'll go 22 on a manifold pressure. We were a little slow earlier. Once that stabilizes, go ahead and do our lean find. So lean rich. Easily start pulling back on that rich mixture knob. Wait for that temperature to peak out. And we're looking for a richer peak right now. There it is. Lean us to back up just a hair more. And we are burning 11, 12, well, about 13 gallons per hour right now, which ain't too bad. Do a fuel check, make sure our tanks are even. They are almost dead on. That's beautiful. We're 6.9 miles away from JLI. At JLI, we're going to do a right turn on a heading of 115. Let's go ahead and move our heading bug over to 115. Here's 90, 100, 111, 115. So once we get a little closer, we can take it out of nav mode, go into heading mode, go ahead and do a right turn at 115. Reset our HSI to 115, and that'll stick us on a radial course of 115 departing JLI. There's a lot more involved in VOR navigation, but it's a lot more satisfying when it works. Big lake off to our left. Yes, that's a ton of fun. That looks like Lake Sutherland. This aircraft, if we wanted to, does have a pressurized cabin and oxygen, but we're not going to mess with that today. All right, 2.4 miles. When we get to about a mile out, we'll go ahead and do our right turn in heading mode. Give us, as we're turning, give us time to change this to 115 on the radial. And then go back in the nav mode. Y'all should try NDB only. You know, Diesel, that is one thing I've not done. There's just not a... Is there a... Do you know of a place that has a heavy amount of NDBs? Pull the RPM back to 21 here just to quieten it down for you guys a little bit. it did change our fuel flow, so after we turn here, we'll... Alright, let's go heading mode. Right turn, 115. Mike's already turning. Let's change this HSI to 115. And we did that just about perfectly. I think I was 0.2 miles over from being directly over top of the VOR.
Yeah, it overshot just a hair, but doing your what you said, about a mile out, go to heading, plug it in, go to nav, worked out just about right.
Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and go to nav mode. It's going to continue the right turn and to get us back on track. And guys who are in the Bonanza right now, I'm cruise power 2100 RPM and 20. Let's bring it back 22 on the pressure, so 22, 21. And I'm gonna have to do another lean find here. So let's richen it back up. Is it not letting me step through this real quick? I don't have full knowledge of exactly how this thing works. Go T, lean find, lean rich of peak. Leanest. Pump it up just a touch, just to make sure. Diesel says, I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll look into it. All right, Diesel, you come up with a flight plan, we'll do it. Seeing you around here is nice. And Ron, how are you doing? Is any of this making sense? Or do you need some extra assistance?
I'm on a heading of 115, and I think I see you guys just ahead of me
Beautiful.
and behind me.
And if you take a look at the chart here, you see this wide open area right here in front of us, so you can see that on the chart too. So we were doing pretty good. We should have the granite mountain off to our right, which is probably this guy right here. And then let's see if there's anything else that we'll see that'll kind of stand out to us. Maybe a tall peak or something. These guys are kind of low. They're back down in the 3,000 range. So one thing about the FAA sectionals and Navigraph I've noticed is that they don't quite have the layers ironed out yet. So you're seeing kind of like 3 different layers right here. You got the one on the left, this strip right here in the middle, and the one on the right. But hey, this is a lot better than not having it at all.
Where do you find sectionals in Navigraph?
Sectionals, if you go up to your chart or map, charts, map presets, yours is probably set to IFR high. You can click on that and change it to FAA sectionals.
Thank you.
Quick
Good
reminder on what course did you choose on the outbound radial here?
Yeah, so your OBS for NAV2. So let's confirm frequencies. We're departing on 114 and arriving on 1159 for IPL. The intersection that we're looking for has a radial of a 078. So we got 078 approximately dialed in. So we should see this bar start scooting in. This is saying we need to keep turning to the right, and if you imagine what we're doing right now, we are essentially turning to the right from where this radial would intersect to the west like this. So imagine there's a line right here. This is that vertical line that you're seeing, so it just thinks we're positioned about right here. So that vertical bar, it's going to be off to our right. Diesel, how's the new microphone sound? Or anyone in here who's listened to the stream, Discord doesn't do the best job.
It sounds great.
Awesome. Oop, dogs are barking outside. Excited about something.
You're on the Discord right now, so I haven't heard the stream on the internet.
That's fine.
Yes, and
I got Mike off to my left there, I presume, since he's... Oh, that's Bloggin's off to my left. Mike is off to my left, too. Let's see. Sean's ahead of me. What is your all's radial? What is my radial?
I'm not using the radio on the phone.
115.
Yeah, mine's 115 is not working for me.
No, you're off to the left a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to troubleshoot that one.
Sean and Dev up are in front of me. 5x5 sounds great. How does it compare to what it's historically sounded like? I promise to stop bombarding people with questions, but this is the first time I've set it up with this new mic, and I want to make sure everybody can hear just fine. A bit more than just plug and play. All right, let's take a look outside. This is a big flat area. Pull the chart over. Kind of hard to tell on this chart. So this section right here, do I have a distance on that? I wish Navigraph would do a better job with distance. 35. Okay. I wish it would show it instead of having to click on it. So that's 35 miles. We are 16.7 away from it, so we should actually see an airport off to our left somewhere. Let's take a look around so we can find it. A lot more clear, crisp, beautiful. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it or not with this wing in the way. Let's go to that external view. Oh, there's the airport right there. Beautiful. Look at that.
I see it, yep.
Right below us. So everything's lining up so far. So good. So we are right here then. And at 35 miles, which is another way we can tell that we should be turning left on 078. So at 35 miles, we should be turning left 078. And we should have the IPL radio we can tune in. And we can actually tune in 074 if we get the radio, which it looks like it's coming through. So instead of 078 on the radio down here, I'm actually going to go ahead and do 74. That way it'll take us, it'll scoot us just a little south of that Nick waypoint. 2, 3, 4. But it should align us really well with Imperial. And then once we get to Imperial, maybe even before, we can do a left turn. And let's check the weather there. Weather at Imperial is currently... Look at this little glitch. Winds are 260 at 5. So we're going to want to land on 26. So we will... Once we see the airport, we'll head about a 45-degree entry to a left pattern for 25. Or, sorry, 26. Winds are...
This is KNYL, right?
It's Kipple, K-I-P-L, Kilo India Papa Lima. West Florida has a decent amount of NDBs close together. Awesome. Okay. We'll have to take a look at that.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I just looked at the chart for Kipple. And it says the runway elevation is negative 55 feet.
Is it really? I didn't even look at that. Let's take a look at that. Alright, so we want to open up this airport. Open charts. Taxi. Negative 55 feet. That's awesome. What is the weather there right now? Yeah.
Yeah, I see the same thing.
Let's go ahead and get to our newest altimeter too while we're doing this. It's 3006. Is there any... And there's a VOR approach. We won't worry about that. 3006 on the altimeter.
We're doing a full stop or just touch and go.
Touch and go, left pattern.
Look in your rearview mirror. The VOR navigation has me right on your tail. That is awesome.
Oh, beautiful. I love it when it works out like that. What was wrong?
So we're going to Kipple, right?
No, we're going to IPL. Sorry, I take a drink. Going to IPL. Kipple is our destination, but IPL is our nav aid. And that's southeast of Kipple.
Yep. Okay. So, what went wrong was I was cheating on a side map to make sure I was on track, and I'm following the VOR nav, but my nav track had me going directly to Kipple from the last. So I just missed programming that in, and so it was confusing me why I'm heading so south.
Gotcha.
So southerly, but it worked by the numbers.
You're not the only one. I'm also cheating. I'm not using VOR. I'm just using Navigraph.
All right, so you remember how I mentioned the Laguna Salada? Well, that's that big lake that we're seeing off our nose there. So, you know, as Simba was told, we can't go there. So we'll go to Kumba, which is 35 miles from JLI, and do our left turn, and we should see our OBS2 come in shortly. We're at 30 miles right now from JLI, and we should see this vertical bar right here start inching over shortly, and it looks like it's trying to. So, oh, look at that. Couldn't have timed that better. It's starting to scoot over. So this is a good way you can also figure out where you're at in the air via VOR. So if you know two VORs, where they're at, and you don't know where you are, but you know the approximate area, you can dial in two VORs that are close by and use the knobs to tune in the angle and then pull out your chart, use that angle to, you know, basically triangulate yourself. So VOR navigation seems scary, but it's actually pretty easy and straightforward. I wish these spam callers would stop calling me. It's driving me nuts. They've called me 6 times today. One number. I'm about to block them. Alright, that vertical bar for IPL is starting to come in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to be going on 078. So there's 9, 8. Ooh, zoom in a little bit. It's kind of hard to see from that distance. 9, 8, 7. Oh, let's go back to 8. Make it a little easier. 1, 2, 078. So we'll go in the heading mode. We're at around 34.5 miles. And what that should do is line us up pretty well with this vertical bar. That'll give us time to swap the radios over. So let's go ahead and do 115. Excuse me, 9er. So we can swap this over. So we'll move our HSI. Let's go ahead and I'm going to delay the heading mode for just a moment here because we are going a little further south than we originally planned. We'll do 35.5 miles is actually probably better since we were doing that 078 versus 074. Now I'm starting to confuse myself. Yeah, 074 is ultimately what we want. So let's go in heading mode now. Heading mode, do that left turn. Let's change the radial to 078. Swap the OBS over. And I may have shot through just a hair. There's a little bit more fine tuning on this one. So go back to nav mode. And that should correct us, keep us out of Mexico. There is the farmlands down there, it looks like. So we are correcting, which is why we're going back. And we are 25.6 miles away from IPL. So Navigraph shows 18 plus 10, so 28 miles. So we are in pretty good shape. And we're about half a mile off track, so just fine.
I accidentally went into the Mexican border.
Oh man, he's done it, guys. Dev's gonna get the F-18s on us. That's all we need right now is an F-18 circling us.
Hope you have your passport.
Right?
That is.
Let's see where you guys are. I'm not sure you crossed the border.
I'm not sure if there's a clear indication. Let's take a look outside real quick.
There is a navigograph. I am watching. I see the border.
There's a road right here, which is south of this road is the border, I believe. This little town we've just passed right here is Cotillo.
If you look at navigograph,
There's
there's
a
a
little
blue
one
line
there.
and there's an orange line. The orange line is Mexico.
Yes, I'm trying to see if there's something visually we can see to see the border. Oh, you know what? This road right here is the one that kind of goes along the border. And I bet that's the border up through there somewhere. Not entirely sure, but y'all should hop in the F-14 and fly with TACAN. Yeah.
Shouldn't we be able to see a big fence somewhere?
I don't know if there's one right here, around here or not. That would be kind of funny if you could see it. All right, so let's go ahead and there, I think, is our airport. There should be two airports. One is
I don't.
Yeah, I just
Is-
passed the first one.
Yeah, I just passed the first. I'm about to pass the first one.
so you guys are in front of me.
Yep.
Yep.
I
Okay.
cut through that one segment because I was too far behind.
Oh, I see it. It's right there.
Let's go ahead and descend down to 1,500 feet. Mixture will push in, and we'll leave our power settings the way they are.
Sorry, what are you descending to?
1,500.
15?
Yep. So there is, I think it's a National Air Force base. And that looks correct from the charts. And then we want the next airport, which I'm struggling to see at the moment.
Yeah, I see El Centro. That one we just went by. I don't see the other one.
Yeah, that's El Centro. The other one is just outside the city here to the north. So it should be up somewhere around here, and we may just not be close enough to it. Oh, wait, hang on. I think I see it.
Yeah. I just
think
went
it's-
over it.
Yeah, I think it's it right there. So we're going to be landing on this runway right here from the far side. So this right here is 26. Whoops, I hit my gear instead of my camera reset. Just check the gear, make sure it's still up. It is. Some solar panels loading in down there. That's cool.
Do you have the solar panels and power lines mod?
I do. We got the We Love VFR, and then the for all the regions in the world that they have published, which I need to check to see if there's an update for any of that. Then I also have the power lines and solar fields.
Did you check out the We Love VFR fireworks over New Year's?
I was in a cabin in the mountains on New Year's, so no, I did not.
Nice. Yeah. But you can set the date. If you set the date in game, you can still see them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, if you look at on the flightsim.to for the We Love VFR fireworks, they have all the dates and the time frames which they're visible and where in the world they're visible.
That's cool.
Because they got, July 4th will be across the states, and then a couple other countries and stuff, they have their fireworks.
You know, it would be
on
worth
certain
having
dates and times.
just in case you randomly come across fireworks happening. You know, it'd be kind of cool if they did
It-
just
it
random
is.
holidays.
Yeah.
It was pretty well done. Loggins, you set me up with it, and I ran through a whole bunch of fireworks and grabbed some screenshots and stuff, and it This is very well done. It looked fantastic in the sim.
Yeah. I did see plenty of screenshots. People are posting it left and right. All right, so for a visual reminder, we're going to do a left pattern and then depart. And we'll fly back over the city, and this interstate that's rolling through here, we'll look for that to get us back onto the nav track through IPL.
Are we stopping or touch and go?
This is going to be a touch and go. And we're going to want to depart IPL on 074 to Bravo Zulu Alpha. Bravo Zulu Alpha is the BARD VOR 1168. So I can't really see. There we go. Whoop, 1168. Let's go ahead and put that on our OBS too. And then there's 7574. We'll leave it on. That might be actually 74. We're close enough to it.
You land on 30?
We're landing on 26.
Wait,
So let's go ahead and get the track IR re-enabled. Let's go autopilot off. And we're going to do a left turn to join the downwind for 26. Bring that prop back in, pull the power. And keep continuing our
I'm at
descent.
the wrong airport.
What's that?
I think I'm at the wrong airport.
Uh-oh.
Kipple, right? KIPL?
Yep, Kipple.
Weird. My chart showed me I should be here, but if you're turning all the way back down there, then
What's the runway heading?
I didn't check that.
Or what's the runway number that we're landing on?
26.
26.
257 is the runway
26.
heading.
Okay, 25.
Heading is
260.
260.
Yeah.
Alright, let's keep an eye for that exterior traffic. I got somebody out to my left here. Who is that? Pop a run. And it looks like Sean
I
is
already-
about on final.
I already touched and went.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do my right turn and get on this downwind then.
oh no, I'm not the wrong airport. You just caught to me really fast.
Alright, 2500 for 1500. There's the runway. Slowing up nicely. Continuing our descent to 1500.
I think there's some railway track. You cross that little town of El Centro, it should see some railway tracks, and just those railway tracks should follow you straight into the runway.
Okay. Sean, where are you at on the final there?
That's for 42.
I'm looking at the. What? Well, I'm looking at the runway right in front of me.
Okay, I
Unless
lost
I'm-
visual
is this
on you.
wrong? That is the wrong one.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
continue on final. I just flew past it.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn in the final here. Let's go ahead and get our approach flaps in.
I was gonna say, don't follow those railway tracks. That brings you into runway 32, not 26.
Okay.
I was flying towards the other airport because that's the only one that has lights.
Alright, so I basically turned left over the power plant here with the ponds.
I'm turning around now.
And I'm on the base at left base, 100 knots for runway 26.
I just run back around.
Let's
Actually,
continue
I'm
our
right here.
descent. I can see the pappies. It shows us a little high at the moment, so let's continue descending. Try to keep it around 100 knots. Let's go ahead and get our gear down. Get that trim. Pappy still show us a little high. And let's do a left turn for 26 final. And we're just going to do a touch and go with the approach flaps today.
Oh, look at these cranes over here.
Continue descending at about 1,000 feet per minute until we get back onto the glide slope. All right, starting to capture glide slope. Let's start trimming it up a little bit. Looking for probably around 400 feet per minute on the descent for final. All right, there's the glide slope. Start easing out some of that power. Confirm gear check.
You,
3 green, gears down. Let's adjust to the right.
line up behind Mike.
Okay. Average speed of 80 knots. Start slowing down. Cut that power. Flare, bleed off that speed. Kick the little right rudder in. And we're on the ground. Let's ride that nose wheelie. Left rudder correct. Get the nose down just to help. Full power. Prop mixture power in. It's back in the air. A little bit of crosswind there. That was a great gear up. Continue on runway heading for a moment. Do a left turn, see if we can't find that highway or the interstate we were calling out a minute ago. Diesel says negative 35. All right, Diesel, whenever we are done, I will take a look at the Atlanta and we'll take a glance at all that information. There's 500 feet. Let's get that gear up. Oh, I'm sorry, flaps up. Nose over. Recover some speed here. And let's pull our power back to 38 and prop 25. Whoa, hey, there's somebody. Mike, I think. And let's go up to 3,500 feet.
Yeah, I'm just on final.
Let's do a left turn. Let's go search for that interstate. We could pretty much do a 90-degree turn, search for the interstate, and we should see this navigation come back into play here in a moment. We got a little bit of fog coming in on us too since we entered this area. $2,000 for 3,500. There is the interstate, so we're going to be just to the right of that interstate, so we should see our HSI coming back in here momentarily. $2,500 for 3,500. Alarm, 1,000-foot alarm should be coming in. There it is. Beautiful.
Hey Mike, where'd you go?
There is our HSI coming in, so let's go ahead and do a left turn here. Follow the flight director. And let's go autopilot on. Alright, confirm flaps are up, visually up. And there goes somebody in the GBM. Who's that? Sean.
That's me. I was trying to look for Mike, but
I'm not sure he's muted at the moment, so if you're trying to talk to us, Mike, we can't hear you.
Oops. Sean, I've been right over the top of you.
so you
I was like, I kept saying, I'm right above you. Like, look up.
just acrobatics and stuff down there.
Nice screenshot. Got these boys off to my right.
Well, you say you're going to 2500, right?
3500. 3500.
Okay.
And I'm coming up on it now. So let's go ahead and let's pull our power back to 22. And our prop back to 22. We'll just do 22, 22. Let's go ahead and get our mixture leaned out. Lean established. Bump up just a hair again. 48 degrees off the lean, so it's perfect. Very nice, rich running engine. And let's go ahead and let the navigation stabilize here. I got a little bit of a crosswind, it looks like. I just want to make sure that we're not fighting that too much. Well, we can see the 1168, which is the BARD VOR, which is what we're heading to next, is in line just perfectly here. And it looks like we just lost the IPL because we flew right over top of it. So we are at IPL. So let's take a look at our charts here. So we are on the right side of the IPL here, going to Bravo Zulu Alpha. Let's get the current heading bug tuned in. Go to heading mode. And let's swap this radio over to 1168. And we want to be on 074 again. So let's make sure we're at 074 on the HSI bug here. So there is 8. And it's kind of hard to tell if I'm actually on it or not. There's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, okay. You need to clean that weather radar screen. I know, right? Looks like somebody with their grubby paws got a hold of that thing. That's for sure. It's all nice and grimy. So now we go back to nav mode. And we are good to go. Showing 42.8 miles. Which, if I click on Navigraph, I got 10 plus 16, so 26 plus 15. 31, 41 plus 46. Yep, so that makes sense. Distance makes sense. So 42 to BARD. Once we get to BARD, we're going to have to try to find the airport. It should be just south of BARD. Whether they're currently open airport, whether you drag Navigraph over. So just a reminder, we are about right here somewhere. And BARD is 1168, which we've got tuned in. As you can see right there. And we've got a distance of 40.7 miles to go. So flying through the VOR is 074. So if we were to draw an imaginary straight line over to here, you should see 074. So there's 6, 7, and 4 right there. This actually has 075 over here, so not a big deal. 1 degree is not going to make a difference for us right now. But we do have Kilo November Yankee Lima as our next airport. The charts, is there an ILS for the runway that we want to be on? There's an ILS on runway 21, so the weather has us at 270 on the wind. So we could actually do the ILS for 2-1 left there, I do believe.
I think it's 2-1 right.
Yeah, yes, it is 2-1 right. So 2-1 left doesn't even have an approach. So 2-1 right. Let's go ahead and pin that chart, overlay that. And what we can do is there's a DME arc of 7 miles to intercept the ILS on a 213. So we should be able to go pretty much 7 miles past on a heading of 070. So 0. Man, be nice if it's gonna be a slight left turn, which makes sense compared to what we're flying right now. And then when we get 8 miles from, or 7 miles from that, we can do a right turn and should be able to join the localizer. No problem. Let's go ahead and tune the localizer. If we take a look at the ILS chart here, it's 108.3. Tune that in on our next radio, or nav2 radio, 108.3. Swap that over. And we'll see this thing get a little active once we get closer.
I may lose an engine, just so you know.
May lose an engine. That doesn't sound good. What happened?
What's our fuel at? Where's my fuel?
Oh, speaking of fuel, I need to swap tanks.
Yeah, that's why I was just, as soon as he said that, I was like,
Wait a minute.
yeah,
Alright, fuel tank is
back on
swapped.
that right tank.
Backed off. Get a little bit of an imbalance there. Too much talking, not enough monitoring.
Yeah, one of my cylinders is running rough, and the arc keeps going crazy.
Uh-oh. It sounds like Dev's gonna have a fun one-engine landing.
0 engine landing. I'm in Comanche.
Oh, even worse. Well,
I still want to do a flight night with the 850.
Yes.
With,
Yes.
full damage or
Full
yeah.
failures.
full failure, like high rate of maximum rate of failure. That's it.
That's gonna be amazing. 32.2 miles to go. Got a ground speed of 147 knots, so we're cruising along just fine. About 10 and a half, a little less than 11 gallons of fuel per hour.
215.
Cabin temperature is 81 degrees. Let's close that. Heat just a little bit. It's really sensitive. Sun is hitting the cockpit too, so that might have something to do with it. Got everybody around us here. Let's take a look outside the airplane. Turn on those nameplates. Got Bloggins, Dev, Ron in front of us. Mike, Sean off to our left. And I don't see anybody behind me that I recognize. Oh, Dev, there's the F-18 coming for you.
Oh man.
He heard. Tango
How did I
Foxtrot.
get ahead of you?
Not sure.
Oh. I'm tuned in to the ILS 10830, and for me, it just kicked in. This is FYI.
Okay. How many miles from the airport are you? Or the VOR?
That has not shown. It's not showing up in the display below.
Okay.
It's just the needles. Just.
My needles are active. I'm 28 miles from this VOR we're heading towards.
Actually, if you guys want to have a little bit of fun to hand fly, or at least use the heading bug, once we get to this Kovok waypoint on the ILS chart, we could actually, which is 7 miles out, we could actually do take a left turn straight to the north, and then try to keep the range at 7 miles on the DME. And that'll bring you a nice arc into the ILS. Let's do that. That'd be kind of fun. So we'll do a heading bug straight to the north, and we'll fly in with a heading bug and try to just keep scooting that over as we fly around and try to keep this distance right here, right at 7 miles. Being a fun little challenge. One of these days I'll take the time to learn this RNAV radio, and we could probably do some of these approaches with an RNAV.
I do have a question for the Bonanza for this black square. On my master warning panel, the far right one or so, the standby alternate
Mm-hmm.
for me is kind of flickering.
It's flickering.
Yeah, comes on and off. I have no clue.
What's your load meter look like?
Prop
Should be
amps
your alternator
Oh,
load.
oh,
It'd be
oh.
under your left fuel tank there.
down there. Yeah.
Is it bouncing around or anything goofy?
No, it's sitting at about 25.
25. Okay. I'm not sure. It might be a key binding issue where it's trying to swap to the standby. Although if I go to standby on mine, nothing pops up. Oh, let me turn my alternator off. Yeah, so mine flashes if my main alternator's off and I'm in standby alternator.
That was a mistake.
Oh, is that what you had?
No, I just think I just turned off my mat. Okay, everything. My electronics just rebooted and
Oh.
yeah, don't turn off your battery and alternator at the same time.
Oh, the ILS just popped in there. And we're going to be on 213, so let's go ahead and dial that LBS in. Two, one, two, three. And we got a standby of 115.9. It needs to be 108.3.
That's something else I got to figure out when I reinstalled everything. I don't know if it's just this aircraft or others. When I engage the heading autopilot, my heading bug will automatically snap to the current direction you're flying in. So if I dial into a direction, then engage the heading, it disregards what I just set it to and goes to whatever direction I'm flying in straight right now.
Oh, that's interesting. Mine will go to whatever my heading bug's set to.
Yeah, it used to do that. As I said, now I press it and it just like, as I said, it snaps and it's like zeroizing your heading
Yeah.
to what you're currently at, which
Not
is
sure why it's
not
doing that.
how I like it.
No.
Because you said like, yeah, what we do, if we're flying to a VOR, then you said, okay, when you hit the VOR, you want to turn to this heading, you must dial into that heading, and then just switch from nav to heading while you set up the radios for the next jump.
Kind of curious here. We got a moment. I'm going to mess with this RNAV radio here. I'm not sure. Because I think, you can dial in the frequency. VOR frequency is 108.3. Radial for the first one is 220 or 255. How do you swap to that? Data maybe? There we go. Radial 255. And we want a distance of 7 miles. So data 7. Whoa. 7 miles. And then let's go to. How do you change a waypoint? Oh, there we go. So frequency is 1083. Data radial. This one is 337. I have no idea if this is actually going to work or not. We're going to give it a try though. Data 7 miles. Is that an 8 in there? Let's check our distance, 11.5. And then back to data. Let's go to waypoint 3. Will put us on 070. So frequency 1083. Data 070. Data distance 7 miles. And then go back to waypoint 1. Use. No idea if this is going to work. We're going to give it a try though. So we need to be 3,600 feet. We're at 35, so we'll stay here and start descending as we get closer. So I'm curious if this is going to work or not. Instead of trying to use the north. Actually, I could probably, once we get within 7 miles, at 8 miles, let's do this. Never used this RNAV radio successfully, so let's go into heading mode. And then let's swap our source to RNAV. Frequency, oh, the frequency's wrong. It's 1083. Use. I'm not seeing it work here. We go back to N1, so we need to go ahead and do our left turn here. Try to keep that at 7. So I need to experiment with this some more. I don't know how to use this just yet. So we should see the airport off behind us. I should have been looking for it. Not seeing it yet. Let's go ahead and descend down to 3,000 feet. Let's put our mixture back in. Leave power settings the way they are. And we should momentarily see this distance start climbing back up to 7 miles. So let's go ahead and get our course set up for our ILS, which is 213, 21, 1, 2, 3, and then swap over to the ILS. Oh wait, we can't do that just yet. We need to keep it on the VOR for our distance here. So 5.3, it's saying we are, okay, starting to crawl down to 0 knots. Let's pay attention to our outside terrain here. There are some mountains in the way. Somewhere around 2,000 feet is the highest point I'm seeing. Alright, this is going to 0, so we can start doing a little bit of a right turn. And we should see our distance start to increase momentarily. So we are... well, we should be...
I'm doing a completely different approach than you. Looks like.
I'm trying to do this DME arc, but I'm not very well versed in DME arcs.
I'm doing the heading bug method you mentioned before, trying to hold that 7 mile.
Yeah, that's what I'm working towards right now. I kind of lost a little bit of that first turn just because I was trying to mess with the RNAV radio. I just don't know enough about the RNAV radio to get it to work yet. I need to read up on it and learn, because that would be a fun one to do some RNAV approaches with the radio. But like nothing popped up whenever I swapped to RNAV mode on the HSI.
Lost my
Excuse me?
second cylinder. I'm just kind of limping in here.
You're having a rough day. What'd you do? Laid
Yeah,
it out too
what?
much?
I think so.
You probably have 4 more left to make it, right?
At least, I would think 5 more. You lost 1 cylinder, right?
Oh, I thought he said he lost 2.
Oh.
Well, I lost one cylinder earlier, and I just lost my second cylinder now.
Oh, okay. So he is down to 4 then. Alright, coming up on 7. Their speed's pretty quick there, so let's go ahead and start doing a right turn with the heading bug. Just to keep that speed down, do a right turn to 060. And I'm actually going to use the knob on my honeycomb here. And you want that speed to be pretty close to 0 while you're doing this turn. And if the distance gets more than 7, we need to turn steeper. If it's less than 7, we can just leave it at the current heading, and it'll kind of even itself out slowly.
It's so foggy, I can't see the runway.
Yeah, I can't see the runway right now either. So at Mudgee, we're going to want to be at 3,000 feet. We're already at 3,000 feet. .8 miles, 11 knots. Let's do a couple degrees to the right. And that we still have our ILS tuned into our right radio here, or nav 2 radio here, so should be good. 6.9. Let's do about a 5-degree turn, 10-degree turn, somewhere around there. Get that speed. All right, 27 knots, 7 miles. Let's keep that turn going.
I have visual on the runway, finally.
Beautiful. All right, 1 knot, so I may have turned too steep there. Let's even it back out. Just keep the current heading. How about that? Yeah, we cut it in just a hair too much, like I mentioned was a possibility. So we'll leave the current heading until the speed or distance goes back out to 7. And we could be hand flying this in too. It'd probably make it a little easier, but I just wanted to play with this with the autopilot, see if there's a better way to do it. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah, I got a hand fly. My autopilot stopped working for some reason.
Ooh.
I've been hand flying this entire time. I don't have autopilot right now.
Alright, speed slowing down. Distance at 6.5, so we took too much of a steep turn there, so we need to go a little easier on the heading bug next time. A little trial and error here. I don't know if I've ever actually done this. Get track IR on so that I can free up my eyeballs here. There's a lake. Looking at the chart, don't really see the lake on the chart there. Could just be under the ILS chart though. 6.6. Do a fuel check. Feels good. 6.7. Go a notch or 2 to the right. There's a river that comes up through here, so I think I see the river. So we should be coming up on the ILS.
I'm crossing a river
bit
right
here.
now, and you're slightly ahead of me.
Yeah, so we're looking for 213.
The ILS snuck up very fast on me.
Get the right turn going again. 213, 2123. Yeah, the ILS is pretty sensitive. We're still gaining some distance. Let's go due south. This is going to be a very jagged circle. ILS should be coming in soon. So let's go ahead and pull some more power here.
I'm on the
Get the prop back up to 25. Oh,
What
I just got the
runway are
ILS.
you guys
turn
landing
right.
on?
Right side one.
And we just shot through the ILS localizer, so let's do a right turn. And let's go into approach mode here. Approach. Get these lights on for the cabin here for you guys. Rejoining that, let's go ahead and descend down to 2,100 feet. And runway should be off to our left somewhere. We're correcting where we shot through. Got 6 miles to it. Oh shoot. I forgot to tune my radios. Alright, so let's do this. Instead of doing a left turn, let's go... you know what? We actually have time. Let's go back into heading mode here. Pull the power. I screwed that up big time. Let's get our approach flaps in. I'm going to do a big S-turn here until we get corrected. Let's keep turning. And down 2,000 feet. What rudder pedals do I use? I use the... there goes somebody over me. And let's go into approach mode here. Let this thing start correcting for me. Alright. Approach flaps. There we go. Now we're on the ILS localizer again. Glide slope's coming in, which is beautiful. So we corrected for that just in time. And there's the runway right in front of us. Awesome. A little bit of an S-turn towards the end there, but not a big deal. I use the, is it the TPR rudder pedals? The metal Logitech ones? There's the glide slope. Let's make sure this thing captures the glide slope for us. Here it is. We're on our way down. Beautiful. Landing gear. Keep that power out. Prop full, mixture full. That was a dumb mistake on the radios there. But we were able to correct with it pretty quickly. Yeah, Thrustmaster. Oh yeah, sorry, Thrustmaster. What did I say? Logitech. Thrustmaster TPRs. Yeah, the metal version with the pendulum setup. All right, 3 green on the landing gear. We are in approach flaps. Keep it there. Keep it at 100 knots for a moment longer here. Look at that sun coming down. It's beautiful. We'll touch power back out. And we're doing a full stop landing here. And we'll regroup for a nice group photo at the end of the runway. Actually, where is the parking? There is There's a vertical takeoff and landing pad we can go to. Yeah, let's just roll all the way to the end of the runway on 2-1 right. We'll take a group photo down there. How about that, guys?
Sounds good. Sorry, I ended up somehow cutting ahead of you on that DME arc, and I think I'm landing in front of you, so I hope I didn't bunch you up.
That's fun.
Oh, I'm already landed. I'm watching you guys come in.
Me too.
Same.
Yeah, you guys were, quite a few of you were in front of me there, so. All right, let's get it to
No,
80 knots
yeah,
here.
almost fast.
What's
I
that?
have no clue how I got ahead of you because I was at the touch and go. I was way behind you guys.
Actually,
I
I
don't
tried
know.
to slow it for Mike, and then I looked over and he was way ahead of me. And I tried to slow for
There's 80 knots.
Michael, and I looked at.
So let's stabilize there. Quick question, what angle do you have the pedal set at? You're asking some hard questions right now because it's been a while since I set those up. I'll have to look at that diesel and get back to you. Alright, let's do a gear check. Gears down, 3 green. Mixture and proper in. We're about 80 knots on the approach speed here. And let's go ahead and disable the autopilot. Just follow that flight director in. So you want to scan your instruments here, so you're watching for 80 knots, flight director, altitude, and then look outside for a few seconds.
We're to the end of the runway.
Yep, roll to the end of the runway. We'll take our group photo down there.
Not rolling down yet. I gotta watch these landings first.
Decision height,
Exactly.
continue.
I'm gonna sit here and watch the show.
Oh man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this, Michael.
You're about to run through me.
No, we can. I mean, you can take the right side. I'll take the left side.
All right, I'll land on
That's perfect.
the right side of the runway. Here's 80 knots, over threshold, start pulling power. We're gonna land on the right side since Sean's trying to run me over. All right, power's pulled, get that flare, let that energy bleed off.
Oh, that's almost side-by-side landing.
Look at that, Sean.
You did it.
I wish I wish I was recording that. I'm just following you guys with the drone right in front.
I wish
Alright,
I could
we're
have a shot of
perfect.
that one too. I didn't have time to get the drone out.
That would have been a cool shot.
That would have been a cool shot.
Alright, taxiing down to the end of the runway.
I don't have one of those fancy reversals that you got going on right there. That's beautiful. Alright, so Diesel is asking what the landing rates were. That second one was a bit smoother, so let's pull this over as we taxi down here. Let's take a look at our track. Try not to run into anybody on the way here. Here's that little S-turn, you can see. The second landing was a negative 43 Diesel. The first one was negative 33. Interesting. Well, look how well we did this pattern work right here. That's awesome. Oops. Yeah, we've pretty much followed our flight plan to the T, minus this DME arc. That was pretty ugly. And then, of course, my goof up with the radio. Luckily, we corrected it pretty quickly.
Wonder
up,
if you could
fellas?
drift these planes.
Here, we can find out.
A little
2 off
burnout.
on the first one. There you go.
Yeah, you know, when I every time we do these streams, it reminds me of planes. I don't know why.
Oh, Dev is in the air.
Oops.
With his 4 cylinders.
Trim a little bit.
Ooh, a little porpoising going on. He's on the ground
That's
now.
a long runway.
It is a long runway.
It is.
The colors in the sky are going to make it look nice. I like the sound of your microphone. Thank you, Carter. I just got that new one, and it's Been very happy with it so far.
You see that, Sean? I got a. Oh shoot!
Oh no! Oh no! This is a multi-plane pile up here. Oh geez, I don't have anywhere to go. Like the start of an NASCAR race. Everybody's bumping into each other.
Part in the Cessna.
Yeah, you got a lot more. You got better brakes than
I would
the
have
152.
been. I would have been off the runway.
Oh, someone's about to drift. There goes Dev in the air again. Mike's,
Hey, what? Wait,
Mike's
Dev,
up there.
What are you flying?
I'm flying Comanche 250.
We
That's
take like
terrible for the plane.
10 knots of wind to pick that thing up.
Yeah, he's flying that thing with four out of 6 cylinders, and he's over here getting airborne like it's nothing. Mike was up there fishtailing it like he owns the place. He's gonna need some new tires now. The sidewalls are trashed.
Where are we lining up?
I'm gonna put my nose on the L here, right in front of a 2.6. Wait, that can't be 2.6.
Oh, you turning a 180 or still facing the sunset?
I'm gonna do a 180. Sunset will be behind us. So I'm gonna put my nose to the right of the L here on the 03 left. And you guys can get up on my wings. There we go. Alright, lean for the ground. Let's watch for those RPMs to drop just a touch.
Sorry, whoever that was.
There we go.
It's okay. Your aircraft looks. I see no wings. I just see a cockpit.
This is like a herd of cats out here, or a herd of mice or rats or something.
Diesel says that's something y'all could do is try air racing. That would be interesting. Well, you should see Sean and I and Mike and the 300 extra. That gets entertaining.
I need to go around.
What is going on over here? This is how TBM babies are born. Come on, guys.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
I'm gonna redo.
Leave it up to the TBM guys over here to cause chaos.
I don't have the TV installed. Is that what you're flying right now?
No, I'm in the Bonanza.
Oh.
Mike and Sean are in the TBM. Go ahead and get your landing and taxi lights off too while you're at it, guys.
I'm in the Baron. I think it was a Bloggins. You in the TVM?
Nope.
Oh.
I'm in
Sorry,
the
Ron.
Black Square Bonanza.
It's Ron.
I'm immediately behind.
Yeah, Mike, your
Come
landing
over.
gear, your landing lights are still on.
Taxi lights off.
Oops, sorry.
Strobes. Taxi and strobes, right?
Beautiful. Look at that. It's a handsome crew right there, even if we are a little chaotic.
Oh, I figured out my engine issue. I have no oil in there.
Even if we are dysfunctional.
Yeah. What's my favorite aircraft? Oh, see, I get asked this all the time. Oh, look how well we lined up. My favorite.
What
okay,
is the furthest aircraft on the right? I'm not sure who's flying that.
Right.
What is it?
Baron?
Which aircraft is it?
That's me in the Baron.
Yeah.
Okay. 'cause it's-
Why are the two TBMs doing kind of a
I already said it.
nose to tail kind of thing?
That's how TBM babies are born. That's how the 850 comes to life. the two, when a 930 and a 930 love each other.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so
We don't know how to park.
Carter, give me a class of aircraft, and by that I mean small GA, medium GA, airliner, something like that, because I got quite a few. Diesel's correct. The as far as airliners go, the Phoenix A320 is my favorite as it stands. Now, any builds coming out with that 350 could get interesting if they do a good job on that. GA aircraft, obviously we fly the 152 like it's going out of style on this channel. So that's a fun one. And then anything from Black Square is good. Moving up to a little larger, the TBM 850 from Black Square is absolutely amazing, along with the Pilatus PC-12 from Simworks Studios. Then of course,
Kodiak.
I don't have the Kodiak actually.
Wow.
Surprisingly,
You
yeah,
don't have
right?
the Cody?
No,
That's a great aircraft. It's a great go-to aircraft for
okay.
for a turboprop.
I would like to get the Caravan from Black Square too. I think that would be a good one. And of course, getting into the airliners, Phoenix A320, fly-by-wire A320, and the PMDG 737 are fantastic. Can't go wrong with those. If you want something a little bigger, I did just get the 300 A300 from Any Builds. It's really nice, although I had to do an entire flight without an autopilot the other night, so that was interesting. And then, of course, the who makes the A330?
Horizon?
No, Headwinds?
No, Headwind makes 787.
The A330?
Yeah.
Yes, Headwinds.
Headwinds?
They got a
Okay.
bunch of them that made them. Yep.
Yeah, the Black Square
Wait.
Caravan is amazing, Diesel says. Yes, absolutely.
LVFR also makes an A330 though.
Yep. There's quite a few. I also really enjoy the CRJ, and I haven't flown the ERJ enough to know if I love it or not, but I like it so far. CRJ does have some weird things going on with it, though. Unfortunately, Aerosoft has not done any sort of updating on that thing since it came out, so the bugs that have caused us or plagued us from the beginning are still there. All right.
Buddy of mine just picked up the Learjet. Or like, I think it's I'm not sure if it's a beta. He picked up a Dash 8 and a Learjet. One of them was a beta. I can't remember which one, but the Learjet itself looks actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's an early access for the Learjet, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. Myself, I'm not a fan of the tip tanks on it, but really shouldn't get me away from wanting to fly it, I guess. But then the Vision Jet is another one from Flight Effects. That's a fun one. So that's a hard question, like I said. I like them all.
Yeah.
But I will be right back,
Can
guys.
you grab the photo?
All right, guys, I appreciate you joining tonight. I hope you enjoyed the flight. Hope you learned something. Dev, if you end up watching this later again, I hope you can be ready for the next VOR flight. So with that, guys, I will catch you all on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And you all have a good night. See ya. Bye, Diesel.